Alright, football fanatics, welcome back to the channel. Get ready because the intensity is off the charts today. First up, the pressure is mounting on Eddie Howe as Newcastle faces Sunderland in a clash that defines reputations. Then, we dive deep into the transfer market, where big names like Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali are being linked with shock moves away from Newcastle. Who's staying and who's going? And speaking of Bruno Guimaraes, Eddie Howe himself is stepping in to shut down those exit rumors. We've got the manager's direct response to the speculation that has fans buzzing. Finally, we'll break down what these stories mean for Newcastle's season and beyond. You know the drill: smash that like button, subscribe for all the latest, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment. Let's get into it.
Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 mAh power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Newcastle versus Sunderland, a derby that could define seasons. This isn't just any match. It's a fixture that shapes reputations and carries the weight of history. Newcastle United's upcoming clash against Sunderland on Sunday is far more than just 3 points on the line for manager Eddie Howe. Newcastle enters this fierce derby on the heels of a challenging week, one that has exposed recurring weaknesses and brought uncomfortable questions back to the forefront. The room for error has shrunk, the external noise has amplified, and the spotlight is now intensely fixed on the man in the dugout. The true magnitude of this occasion is becoming undeniably clear. With both Newcastle and Sunderland boasting 54 wins each in this historic fixture, Sunday presents a golden opportunity for one side to claim outright supremacy in one of English football's most passionate rivalries. But the stakes are even higher for Howe, especially considering Newcastle's dismal performance in their last encounter with Sunderland, a display widely regarded as one of the worst of the Howe era. While a single loss can be dismissed as an off day, suffering a second consecutive defeat to their rivals begins to paint a much more concerning picture. This season has seen its share of inconsistencies, attributed to a demanding schedule and the integration of a revamped squad. These were valid points earlier in the campaign when time and rhythm were scarce commodities. However, with Newcastle now out of multiple competitions and the squad having had months to forge understanding, the narrative shifts. Another defeat to Sunderland, particularly following a significant loss to Barcelona, would feel less like a stumble and more like a stark warning. This is the crucial juncture where perceptions change, patience wears thin, and Howe's tenure starts facing more critical evaluation. Sunday's derby may not be the ultimate decider of everything, but it could very well dictate how Eddie Howe's legacy at Newcastle is viewed moving forward. Don't go anywhere, because what happens next could change everything for Newcastle. And stick around as we explore which star player might be packing their bags this summer. Who's next to go, Tonali or Guimaraes? As the season winds down, the transfer rumor mill is in full swing, and Newcastle United finds itself at the center of it all, with key players like Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali being heavily linked with moves away. While these two are the most high-profile names, reports suggest Tino Livramento could also be heading for the exit. The reality is, if Newcastle misses out on Champions League qualification, which seems increasingly likely, several crucial players could be put on the market. Both Guimaraes and Tonali have attracted the attention of Manchester United, prompting Sky Sports reporter Keith Downey to weigh in on who is more likely to depart. Downey believes Bruno Guimaraes is the more probable candidate to remain at the club for the long haul. He noted that Guimaraes is slightly older, serves as the club captain, and has truly embraced Newcastle United, with the club now deeply ingrained in his life. Downey suggests that while Guimaraes might have initially viewed Newcastle as a stepping stone, that perception has significantly changed. There's a powerful emotional connection now, a far cry from his early days at the club. This emotional pull is a strong indicator of his commitment. This doesn't imply Sandro Tonali sees Newcastle as merely a temporary stop, but his agent has previously hinted at such possibilities. Downey concludes that the future of neither player is certain, with Tonali's situation being particularly fluid, hinting at a potentially transformative summer for St. James Park. Tonali has been consistently linked with a return to Italy, but recent speculation also involves Manchester United, Arsenal, Manchester City, and Real Madrid. Newcastle fans would undoubtedly be devastated to lose him, especially after the club's unwavering support during his betting ban and his pivotal role in their Carabao Cup victory. He still has so much to offer, despite a challenging season. Newcastle reportedly values Tonali at around £100 million, a sum that could fund significant squad reinforcements. Being 3 years younger than Guimaraes, Tonali likely commands a higher market value, making him a prime target for clubs seeking young talent. But is Howe ready to let his star players go? Stay tuned as we reveal the manager's direct response to these explosive transfer rumors. Howe fires back at Guimaraes' exit rumors. Newcastle United is once again navigating the choppy waters of transfer speculation, this time with star midfielder Bruno Guimaraes at the center of attention. Reports linking him with a summer move to Manchester United have drawn a strong and telling response from manager Eddie Howe. "I don't even know how to respond to that. It is a waste of my energy," Howe declared, cutting through the speculation with the decisive tone of a manager determined to maintain focus. This isn't just about quelling rumors, it's about safeguarding stability during a critical phase of the season, especially in the wake of their heavy aggregate defeat to Barcelona in the Champions League. That significant loss has undeniably shifted the narrative surrounding Newcastle United. Elimination from Europe's premier competition invites intense scrutiny, and their dwindling chances of securing a return through the Premier League only amplify the sense of urgency. However, within this challenging context, Eddie Howe's handling of the Bruno Guimaraes situation offers a clear window into his leadership style. There's no appetite for distractions, no desire to fuel headlines that pull focus from the immediate tasks. Newcastle United's progress has been built on a foundation of unity and clear direction. Allowing speculation to destabilize the dressing room would undermine the very principles that have fueled their ascent under Howe. Bruno Guimaraes remains absolutely central to Newcastle United's aspirations. As captain, he embodies the technical brilliance and the emotional drive that have become hallmarks of the team. Howe was unequivocal in his assessment, reaffirming the midfielder's commitment. "Bruno is our captain, and he is fully committed at the moment," he stated. This declaration carries immense weight. Guimaraes is not only a pivotal creative force in midfield, but also a symbol of Newcastle United's ambition, elevating those around him, dictating the game's tempo, and setting the highest standards. Even a temporary halt to his momentum due to injury hasn't altered his priorities. Howe confirmed, he is injured at the moment, his only focus is coming back to fitness. This dedication to recovery underscores a player fully invested in both Newcastle United's immediate goals and its long-term vision. In a period where external narratives could easily take root, Eddie Howe has once again showcased the power of calm authority. His refusal to engage with speculative talk reflects a manager steadfastly focused on keeping Newcastle United aligned with its objectives. There's a clear understanding within the club that players of Bruno Guimaraes' caliber will always attract interest. The crucial factor is how that interest is managed. Newcastle United's project remains robust, and retaining key figures like Guimaraes will be paramount as they strive to re-establish themselves among Europe's elite. For Howe, the message is consistent. Focus on the present, trust the squad, and prevent external noise from disrupting the progress being made at St. James Park. But is this the end of the transfer talk for Newcastle? Get ready for our final story as we look at the stark reality facing Eddie Howe and his team in their next crucial match. Howe's defining moment, Newcastle's derby dilemma. This Sunday, Eddie Howe and Newcastle United face more than just a football match. They stand at a potential turning point in their season and reputation. The historic derby against Sunderland looms, a fixture where bragging rights are etched in rivalry and the pressure on the manager is immense. Newcastle enters this crucial encounter reeling from a difficult week that has highlighted persistent flaws and reignited uncomfortable questions about the team's direction. With each passing game, the margin for error shrinks, the volume of external criticism grows, and the spotlight intensifies on Eddie Howe. The sheer weight of this occasion is becoming increasingly palpable. This derby isn't just about securing 3 points. It's about claiming outright supremacy in one of English football's most storied rivalries. With both Newcastle and Sunderland locked at 54 wins apiece, Sunday offers a chance to break the deadlock. However, the stakes for Howe are significantly higher, especially after a forgettable performance in their last meeting with Sunderland, a game that was arguably one of the worst under his management. While a single poor result can be an anomaly, suffering a second consecutive derby defeat would signal a more worrying trend. The team's inconsistency this season has been attributed to various factors, including a demanding fixture list and the challenge of integrating new signings. While these explanations held water earlier in the campaign, the context has now shifted. With multiple competitions concluded and ample time for the squad to gel, another loss to Sunderland, particularly following a heavy defeat to Barcelona, would move beyond a setback and into the realm of a critical warning. This is the stage where public perception can pivot, where initial patience can give way to mounting expectations, and where Howe's position might begin to face more stringent judgment. Sunday's match may not be the sole determinant of Newcastle's future, but it could very well shape how Eddie Howe is evaluated from this point forward. Will Howe weather the storm and secure a vital win? Stick around for our outro, where we'll recap all the drama and give you the full download. And that's a wrap on today's explosive news. We saw the immense pressure on Eddie Howe heading into that massive Newcastle versus Sunderland derby. Then, we dove into the transfer frenzy with Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali facing uncertain futures at Newcastle, only for Howe to shut down those exit rumors. What a roller coaster. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed today's breakdown, subscribe to the channel for more top-tier football analysis, and ring that notification bell so you're always the first to know. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and follow us on all social media platforms for even more exclusive content. We'll see you next time.